Well, today I am going to show you how to cook some meat in a cast iron skillet. And what I have here is I have a Griswold. And I tell you what, this thing has really been a good skillet for me. But I am going to show you how to cook meat in here and it not stick. No mess to clean up or any of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with one of these blue paper towels. And these are lint free. That's why I like to use them. You know, of course, skillets, they're not washed. You never use soap. So, of course, these are going to get dirty just from airborne particles. So I like to take the blue paper towel and I like to wipe these down real good. And that way I'm removing any bacteria from this skillet before I even start to cook with it. So what I will do is once I get this wiped down real good, then I will turn on my stove eye on about 4.5, and while I'm waiting on this skillet to warm up, I will be getting my meat prepared. And today we will be using Tennessee Pride Sage Country Sausage. Okay, if you notice how smooth all of these patties are except this one right here. What I do is when I make my patties, I drag my fingers across here as if I'm petting the patty, and what that does is that makes these very slick on the outside versus this. If you leave it this way, you're more apt for it to want to stick, but once you get it slick like this, it makes it a lot easier to move around inside the skillet. So you don't have to worry about this if you're doing a steak or a pork chop or chicken or something like that that has a closed cell structure. But hamburger and sausage, anything loose like this, you have to pet it to get the cell structure tight. Now I can put my hand about 4 inches over the skillet and I can feel heat rising out of it, so I know that this skillet is waiting for me to put some food in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take me a little bit of Crisco. I've got right at about a half a spoonful. It's on a fork, doesn't matter, but anyway, I'm going to put that in there and let that move around. Now I'm going to take my spatula, I always use a metal spatula, and just drag that across there, get the whole skillet ready. Now I go over to my meat, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the side that I have petted, if you want to call it that, and I'm going to put that side down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag that around for about 4 seconds. And that'll be enough to really close up that cell structure of the meat. And when you do that, now it's not going to want to stick. So I just keep repeating. I get all of my patties in there. Of course, I'm just going to do half at a time. That way I don't have a crowded skillet and I can move them around all I need and want to. So that's pretty much how you get it going. Oh man, I wish y'all could smell this. Man, it smells good. Alright, well I know some of you are just dying to take your spatula and just smush down on it. Well, you don't want to do that until you flip the meat. And I basically just flip it one time. I try to get it to where it'll just flip once. So what I'm going to do is wait on this side to get done. Once it gets done, I'll flip it and I'll smush it flat when I flip it over. And you'll notice that it seems like the skillet is getting hotter and hotter. And yes, it is starting to catch up with the heat. So what I want to do is just back down my my stove eye till earlier I had it at about 4.5. So now I'm going to put it just a little short of 4. And that way I don't have grease splattering all over the kitchen. Okay, well, I just took a peek and this one here looked like it was ready, so I went ahead and started flipping them over. So what I want to do is get everything back to where I have plenty of working room. I'm going to take this one right here, I'll flip it over, and I'll keep moving it a little bit. And smash it like I've been dying to do for the last couple of minutes now. Keep moving that. And when you keep moving that, That'll cook it to where it does not want to stick. Alright. So we're just going to keep doing this. Keep moving around. Before it gets too done, I'm going to smash it. Get it flat like I want it. Keep moving it around. Now it feels like it's been seared enough that it's not going to want to stick. Move this back out of the way. What you have to be careful of is when you want to smush that thing, that it may want to stick. That's why you want to try to keep it moving. And that's pretty much it, folks. Now, if you're wondering, well, how do I clean this skillet when I'm done? Well, you're not going to have much cleanup, I can tell you that. But what you're going to want to do is just get all of your meat. You'll get it out of the skillet. Just take your metal spatula, just drag it through here a little bit. And I like to do this before I shut it off. And that way, once I shut it off, everything's cooling down together. And once this cools down, man, all you got to do is just drag a rag across this thing and it'll clean up fine. You see, I didn't have any meat stick, but it'll definitely come up clean once I cut it off and let it cool down. There we go, cooking without it sticking. And I know once I mentioned the word Crisco, some people just freaked out of, oh my God, you're gonna die from clogging your arteries and too much grease. Well, I am gonna take the meat and I'm gonna put it on a paper towel. And I am gonna get out as much of that grease as I can by taking a paper towel and squeezing over it. I'm going to take this paper towel here and I'm going to press down and get all the grease out that I can get out of it. And of course, that Crisco that I added, it's still here in the skillet. It's not like I'm going to drink this juice. So I'm getting as much out as I can. Look how clean that skillet is. What you want. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add my second set of sausage here. And drag it around a little bit. Let it get it seared. Yeah. Not going to stick. I'll even take the one that I didn't pet it earlier, as I called it. So, and I'll show you again. We'll just take a fresh piece here, flip it over, move it around a little bit, keep it from sticking, smush it flat, keep it moving. The reason you have to keep moving it after you've smushed it flat is you get a lot of that pink meat around the edge there that oozes out, and that's what wants to stick, is that meat that hasn't got to really cook through. Now once you've moved it around a couple of seconds, I mean, you don't have to keep moving it. You can if you want to, just if you're bored, but you don't have to. I mean, once you get that seared, it's gonna stay that way, and it's gonna keep from sticking in your skillet. Well, when I feel like I'm about 3 minutes away from being done, I go ahead and turn the stove eye off, because cast iron skillets hold heat real well. You don't have to worry about them getting cold. Now I can take my paper towel, and while this grease is still hot around the stove eye, I can go ahead and wipe this up as well and make this a whole lot easier to get up now versus once the oil has gotten cooled off and gotten sticky on the stove eye, it doesn't want to come off as well. So I go ahead and do that to save myself a little work later. Well, here's the skillet after I've cooked all of my sausage. You can see none of it stuck. I'll show you the whole skillet here as I drag across here. And as I said, I'm going to let this cool down. And once it cools down, then I can come back and just wipe this out with a paper towel, and I'm good to go till the next time I want to use it. So as far as right now, it's time to eat this sausage while I'm waiting on the skillet to cool. I cook enough sausage to last me a whole week because I'm a single man. I don't want to get up and have to cook sausage every day. So I just cook me enough to last me a whole week. Put it in a Ziploc bag, and well, I got it to where it was cool enough that I could just about touch in there if I needed to. And what I've done is I have poured out the grease and got it where I can throw it away. Now this paper towel that I used earlier on the sausage, that's what I'm going to use just to go ahead and do a pre-wipe on this skillet. So I'll drag this around in here and get all the crumbs and stuff. They'll easily stick to this paper towel because this is what is already greased up and everything. So let me go ahead and get this wiped down real good. Okay, I've got it wiped down good, and if you recall earlier, I said I like to use these blue paper towels to wipe these skillets because they're lint free, so they're not going to leave a lot of lint residue in this skillet when I'm done. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and wipe down all inside of here with this paper towel, and then when I'm done getting the inside of it clean, I'm going to wipe the outside with this same paper towel. I don't want a lot of oil residue left on this skillet, and a lot of people say that they like to rub some Crisco on the skillet before they store it. I never have, and I've done fine with the way that I do it, and pretty much I cook everything the way that I showed you earlier. I let the skillet get hot. I put about a spoonful of the Crisco in here after it's got hot, and that's always worked fine for me. So I don't like to store it with a lot of grease on here because that grease is going to get rancid if I go a little bit of a time without using this skillet. So plus it also makes any kind of say if you have pets and you got pet hair that kind of gets in the air a little easy, that would make it real easy to stick to this skillet. So, and I also store my skillets upside down. That way I don't have to worry about anything getting inside the skillet. If it's turned upside down, a lot less airborne particles are going to get inside of here. And there we have it, folks. It's a nice and clean skillet. I didn't have to do anything crazy to keep it clean. Look at that. Man, that thing is just like mirror finish. And you will have people that freak out when they see that I used that metal spatula. I'm going to tell you, my family has been doing that for a century. So if you think about it, plastic or nothing else was around back when these cast iron skillets first came out. Everybody used metal spatula. So don't be afraid to use a metal spatula on these things. They're tough. They'll take it. So there you go, folks. Happy cooking. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe and leave me some comments down below. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.